Hey guys, it's Hiddenpurple back again for another in-depth game review. It's been a bit of a busy week and so I didn't manage to get enough footage for We Happy Few. Luckily, I have a backup, Sea of Thieves. I've already got plenty of footage recorded to make that video, so that's what I'll be talking about this week. I'll do my best to get We Happy Few out next week. Thanks for your patience, everyone. So, Sea of Thieves. What can I say about this game that hasn't already been said? Well, I'll start with the obvious. It got pretty poor reception upon release, but I think that it's important that we clear a few things up. When Sea of Thieves launched, other critics talked about the lack of content in the game, which was a pretty fair complaint, and I can understand why people had a problem with that. It was pretty sparse in the content department at launch, but I think that those people were missing out on the heart of Sea of Thieves. When you really got down to it, Sea of Thieves is a place for you to go with your friends to goof off and make your own fun. If you're focused on the grinding and you're too serious about that, you probably won't have much fun in this game. Sea of Thieves is all about the social aspect, and that's what makes it stand out. Of course, if you're a solo player, then this might not be the game for you. I've played plenty of solo hours, but that's just so I can grind my rep ranks and keep up with the people I play with. Back in March, Sea of Thieves released with nothing to do but level up ranks and fight other pirates on the high seas. A lot has changed since launch though. In the last 6 months, Rare has been releasing consistent content drops. With the Hungering Deep, we got to fight the Megalodon, which offered unique rewards and a chance to put your ship battle skills to the test in a PvE setting. Up to this point, the only chance you got to really use your cannons were to fight other players in PvP battles to the death. Hungering Deep also introduced the first story mission to the game. It wasn't very long, but it was fun to complete and rewarded players with a new instrument and some unique cosmetic items. If you managed to get enough people together to actually take down the behemoth Megalodon, you also got a cool figurehead for your ship. The next major content drop was the Cursed Sails. This one was a doozy, and it was an important indicator of what we can expect from Rare as the game continues to release more content. The most important piece of content in the Cursed Sails was the new ship type, the Brigantine. Before the Brigantine, you could have a sloop for crews of 1 to 2, or the Galleon, which could feasibly sail with 3, but it was really only practical to use with a crew of 4. The Brigantine allows you to sail with a crew of 3 pirates, and the introduction of this ship was very important. When they were designing the Brigantine, Rare came out and said that they never intended to add any new ships to the game. When they set out, it was always going to be the sloop or the galleon. But the players wanted a ship for 3 people, and Rare actually listened. This is so important because most developers these days don't actually listen to the players, and it shows that Rare is more than willing to listen. Cursed Sails also introduced another popular fan request, NPC ship battles. With the Cursed Sails, you got a short story campaign that introduced us to the story behind the cursed crews and why they're attacking. Once you complete the campaign, you can take to the seas and form alliances with other pirate crews and go fight off skeleton invaders across the seas. This was actually something Rare was initially pretty adamant about. They said that they did not want to add NPC ships. But again, the fans wanted it, and when they heard how much of a demand there was for NPC ship crews, Rare listened and got to work making it happen. Honestly, this type of fan service is so hard to find in the games industry these days, and it's refreshing to see what Rare has done with this game since launch. In between major content drops, there have also been several minor events that have happened called Bilge Rat adventures. First, there was the exploding skeletons, which started spawning skeletons with explosive barrels in their hands. These guys can be a real hassle, but if you deal with them, there are rewards to be collected. There are also skeleton thrones, the mermaid statues, and as of last week, the cursed crews. Each of these events introduce new bits of content to the world, and slowly but surely, the Sea of Thieves world is being fleshed out. I think I've said enough about the content in the game, and I think that I've more than proven that Sea of Thieves has a bright future as far as content goes. With the release of Cursed Shores later this month, plus 2 major content drops before the end of the year and all of the minor events that'll happen in between, I don't think Sea of Thieves will be running out of things to do anytime soon. Now's a good time to get into the story that's present in Sea of Thieves. Now in this department, things are pretty sparse, for now. Rare is planning to do the story in a way that I think is truly one of a kind. I've never seen another game do this. Since it's an online game, the team at Rare are taking the stories of players and turning them into the lore for the world. So the lore is not some history written by the devs. The world's lore and the Sea of Thieves' greatest heroes or villains will be players within the game. You can learn about these stories within the journals hidden throughout the world. The jury is still out on whether or not this idea will work, but I think it's incredible that they're including the game's player base in the ongoing story of the world. The gameplay truly is something else. If, like me, you're a huge fan of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, this game is going to invoke a lot of feelings of nostalgia. When I was a kid, I spent hours of time in The Wind Waker just sailing to try and find every single secret in that world, and I loved every second of it. Sea of Thieves takes this to a whole new level. The ships in this game are complex and require a deft hand and skilled crew to make them run smoothly. In the sloop, an experienced sailor can sail alone, but if you've got a brigantine or a galleon, you're going to need someone to help you out. Maybe you're the best helmsman on the Sea of Thieves. That's not going to help you if you don't have somebody to adjust your rigging or catch the wind for you. To sail bigger ships in Sea of Thieves, you need communication and teamwork. On the brig and the galleon, you'll find that raising, lowering, and adjusting the sails takes a pretty long time to do alone. If you have someone to help you, it goes much quicker, and it's this that allows you to keep these large, cumbersome ships maneuverable. If you're worried about not being able to find someone to play with, don't. Sea of Thieves has a pretty active player base, and there are plenty of other pirates who are more than happy to let you onto their crew and who will show you the ropes. It's also important to note that you aren't restricted to playing with people on your platform either. Sea of Thieves is a cross-platform game, and it plays between PC and Xbox. If you have friends on either of those platforms, you'll be able to join their crew. So when you actually get off your ship, what is there to do? Well, my jolly viewers, I'm glad you asked. You can pick up missions from any of the 3 major factions from the moment you log in. These factions being the Gold Hoarders, the Order of Souls, and the Merchants Guild. Each of these 3 factions will offer their own types of missions, and they'll also offer different rewards. The Order of Souls sends you on missions to hunt down specific skeletons and return their skulls. Once you start getting to level 20 and beyond, the challenge of these missions will go up considerably as you're introduced to the variant enemy types. There are these guys with the foliage growing out of them, otherwise known as salad boys. They self-heal in water and they're resistant to guts. So get your cutlass out and make a chopped salad. Then there's these fellows, the golden skeletons, commonly referred to as Goldie Boys. If you hadn't guessed, they're resistant to cutlass damage. So pack a blunderbuss or a gunpowder barrel or you'll be here all day fighting them. You can also weaken them by throwing water in them or leading them into water. Last of all are the shadow skeletons, known colloquially as Shady Boys. These ones go incorporeal at night, and the only way to damage them is to first shine your lantern on them. These guys are the easiest of the special skeletons to take care of since they don't have any actual damage resistance. If Order of Souls isn't your thing, then you can go talk to this guy and pick up a Treasure Hoarder's Voyage. These voyages consist of 2 mission types: the riddles, which are kind of a pain in the ass, and my favorite, the treasure maps, complete with the red X's to mark where the treasure is hidden. The treasure hunt really invokes the feel of being a pirate and are the missions that I generally find the most fun. There isn't much more to say about the Gold Hoarders, so let's move on to the Merchants Guild. This group of merchants hangs out on every outpost and offers you jobs retrieving and then shipping goods to the various outposts around the world. These goods ordinarily consist of animals, specifically chickens, pigs, and snakes. Chickens are easy to deal with, no special requirements here. The pigs, on the other hand, require feeding, and that can get seriously annoying. The snakes are also pretty dangerous. If you're not careful, they'll bite you and leave you poisoned and unable to see clearly. Before you pick up a snake, make sure to take out your instrument and play them a shanty. For some reason, hearing March of the Valkyrie on a hurdy-gurdy gets these guys to chill the fuck out. Speaking of shanties, you get instruments that you can play around with as you're sailing between islands. The instruments show Rare's attention to detail in Sea of Thieves. If you're playing at the same time as another pirate, you'll harmonize your instrument with them. I played once with a few other crews, and our band totaled 8 instruments, and still each instrument added a new sound to the harmony. This attention to detail bleeds through to every aspect of the game, and it shows just how much love was put into the development of Sea of Thieves. All in all, Sea of Thieves is a truly fun experience with tons of free content and more to come. I'll give Sea of Thieves an 8 for time budget. The social aspect is a big help, but solo players will have to commit some pretty serious time to get their ranks up, and if you get attacked by another crew before you can turn in your goods, you can lose loot that you've been gathering for hours upon hours, which is just one of the risks you take when playing, but definitely something to consider when you're deciding if you want to play Sea of Thieves. I don't have an actual rating for the story at this point. Honestly, the way Rare are handling the game's story is entirely new, and I'll have to wait to see how it pans out to give an informed response. There isn't another game to compare this type of storytelling to, so for now, I'll just give it a placeholder of 7. That'll go up or down depending on how this new style of storytelling performs. For gameplay, Sea of Thieves gets an 8. Tight control, awesome ship mechanics, fun combat, and tons of interesting ways to interact with the world make Sea of Thieves an experience that is definitely worth trying out. Thanks for tuning in this week. I hope you liked watching as much as I liked making it. I had a lot of fun playing Sea of Thieves and getting the footage for this video. It really has been a blast. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and be sure to leave a like or dislike. All ratings and responses are definitely appreciated. Before I go, I want to shout out to another content creator. He's a streamer and his tag is Neon Mind Control. Check him out, he's a pretty cool guy. If you're wondering how people get mentioned on my channel, well, it's quite simple. They just message me on my Facebook page and let me know. If you subscribe to me and message me on my Facebook page with your information, I'll be sure to give you a shout out at the end of one of my videos. If you like my videos and don't want to miss out on any future content, be sure to subscribe. And don't forget to click that notifications bell so YouTube lets you know every time I upload a video. I'm out of here. Peace.